Jayo Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Giridharadhari Yashodanandana Vrijanayandana Yashodanandana Vrijanayandana Yashodanandana Vrijanayandana Yamuna Tira Vanadati Yamuna Tira Vanadati Jayo Radha Madhava Kunja Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasati Gaura Bhaktavrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Many times it happens that people feel that morality is everything. Okay? Most of the people, their idea of spirituality is only morality. Be good, be nice. Now let's take an example. Let's start with something very simple. Suppose we loot the bank and all of us bring money and say, let us divide the money morally. Now, is there any morality left now? Correct? That is called devil side scriptures. So in the same way, in the society today, there is hardly any idea actually of spirituality. What people talk about is some mundane morality. As I was telling in the morning, it's on that level only. Suppose, take an example. Mataji is cooking something in the kitchen. Okay? So take an example. And she's making nice pakoras and all of that. She knows. Even I don't know. And you say that, I also want to make. But she knows you can't handle fire. You can't handle this. It's very dangerous. Correct? So what she does, particularly at your age now, a still smaller child, they give them a toy. Toy, he has a toy stove. Actually nothing, it's only plastic. Plastic spoon is there, plastic, there is no fire. And child is happy, my cooking is going on, he's playing with it. He's in his dream world. But then what happens is that, therefore, there are two kind of people. One who wants to enjoy with God. And one who wants to enjoy like God. This morning we just started this point. Let us develop this point now. You got it? There is one person who wants to enjoy with God. Just like now Mother is cooking, you will let her cook and after that you can sit with her and eat, enjoy nicely. But no, I want to imitate you. Like you, I also want to cook. Now, a small child cannot cook actually. So what any mother will do? Will give him a toy kitchen. There is no fire in it. Simply over a plastic plate, plastic spoon is going on, mud is there instead of food. He is enjoying and cooking. The big cooking is going on. But the fact is nothing is happening. True? And after the so-called cooking of the child is over, There is nothing to eat actually. Correct? He may be thinking I am doing, he is very busy. Small child somehow gets into that illusion. But at the end of his so-called cooking, that it does, the idea was, mother is cooking. She is expert, she can handle the fire. But the small child can't handle fire. No mother will give him gas and stove and this thing. Small, say, 2-year-old child. What the child gets? A duplicate stove, small plastics, just as they have duplicate train, duplicate car, they are happy with it. We give us, we will throw. But small child is very happy, duplicate car, small car. This car is running, he is very happy. So similarly, but the result of it, phalena, but the result we see, what is there in the result? There is no food, nothing at the end of it. And then he realizes the child actually, let me enjoy with mother. Let me not have my imitation kitchen, it is a home. So exactly the same way, there are two kinds of people in this world, theist and atheist, astic and nastic. Actually, both strictly speaking, both are same and both are useless. I tell you why now. Revolutionary thought. Both are same, both are useless. Why? Because both of them want to enjoy like Krishna. The atheist, he says, give me my kitchen and get lost. He doesn't even recognize that the duplicate kitchen has come from the God. He doesn't recognize. And the theist, he recognizes that and is thankful, and he will once in a while ask also, how do I cook? But the cooking is duplicate only. So both theists and atheists, in this world we see two kinds of people. The atheists are there, they also want to imitate the enjoyment of God. They also, what is happening? What is happening in a temple? Same thing is happening in Vaikuntha. Krishna is enjoying. Correct? And all the devotees are participating in his enjoyment, nothing else. Nothing else you're going to see there. Narayana, in form of Narayana, or in the form of Krishna, Bhokta. In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, Bhokta Rama Yagna Tapasam Sarvaloka Maheshwaram Suhridam Sarvabhutanam Gyata Vam Shantim Rachati. This is the ultimate morality. Krishna is the only enjoyer. Okay? We are not enjoyers actually. But our problem is, we want to enjoy like Krishna, even as devotees. So till that attitude is there to enjoy like Krishna. Some people do it denying God. They deny God. Hey, God doesn't exist. They have their own enjoyment. And some people do it like so-called astic. Because they also go to God with a list, give me this, give me this, give me this. Finally, he wants to enjoy like God. That tendency has not gone away. You got it? The tendency to imitate Krishna in enjoyment has not gone away. In the neophyte, you say nursery spiritualist, their attitude is to use God as an order supplier. Give me, give me, give me. So both the astic and nastic are actually useless. You got it? One person never goes to God. He drinks, smokes, he enjoys like God. In his way, whatever way. In his conception. And another person, what he does? He goes to God to get items for his enjoyment. And again he wants to imitate enjoyment of God only. So both of them are actually useless as far as a devotee is concerned. So this so-called morality, if you take strictly, only bhakta is special. Because Bhagavad Gita, Chaitanya Charitamrita says, no, Bhukti, Mukti, Siddhi, Kami, Sakale, Ashanta, Krishna Bhakta, Nishkama, Kevala, Shanta. Some people are wanting bhukti, they want sense gratification. They are always disturbed, because there is no end to desire for sense gratification. They will never be satisfied. Crazy fellows, they are always disturbed. I want this, I want this. No limit. Is there any limit? No. They got this toffee, they want that toffee also, they want that toffee also. No limit to their desire, they become mad. And mukti means they are fed up of sense gratification in this world. That is called mukti. Bhukti, mukti. So this is another variety. And these people are also useless, because Prabhupada says there is another category of useless people. So that is one. And Siddhi, Mukti, what he wants? He wants to be liberated from the world. He wants something. Bhukti means he wants sense gratification. There are three kinds of people in this world. They want something, if possible from God also. And then Siddhi. Siddhi means he wants some yogic powers. Okay. So all these varieties of people actually, they want something. And Krishna Bhakta Nishkama, he doesn't want anything. He wants something. He wants to please Krishna. Okay. So you got this idea? The mother is cooking in the kitchen. And one person wants to imitate the cooking of the mother. He wants to enjoy like Krishna. There are many people who want to enjoy like God. And these come in two categories. Nastik and Astik. Both are useless. Nastik means denying God, he wants to enjoy like God. And Astik means he accepts God and takes benefit from him and enjoys like God. Both are imitators of God, both are useless. One is using God, one is denying God. Either way, both are useless. So, generally many times people have this idea, you believe in God. It's better than non-believing, but on a strict sense, it's useless. A bhakta stands out unique because he has no business to imitate the Lord. He wants to enjoy with God. So we have to make the choice. That decision we have to make. We want to enjoy like God, or you want to enjoy with God. There is a big difference. Like God, you want to imitate either as a non-believer or as so-called theist who only goes to place of worship to collect items for his enjoyment, imitating the God as a supreme enjoyer. But a bhakta is unique. He has no desire for personal enjoyment. He only thinks how to make Lord happy. Okay? So this is a unique feature. First thing we should understand this principle. Then another thing which we are developing in the morning, let me come to that. Let me just go to the shloka first. The shloka talks about the morality, everything comes from the Lord. Yes. But the understanding of that is not easy. Just like we have the example of Narada. Now Narada, when he meets the sons of Daksha, he tells them, what does he tell them? There were 10,000 sons of Daksha in the Bhagavatam described. And he explains to the principle of renunciation in one shloka. That is called minimum words, maximum meaning. One shloka he tells them. 10,000 people are sitting and doing great tapasya. And Narada goes there and tells one shloka. That's all. And what happens? They renounce everything and they become sannyasis. Now so-called moralist of the world will not be able to understand that fact at all. In fact, generally people will behave like Daksha, and Daksha curses Narada after that. Instead of thanking Narada, he cursed Narada. We have also the example of Lord Chaitanya, who at a very young age became a sannyasi. He is leaving his mother and wife at home. Wife was just married and mother is so pure devotee. Both are pure devotees. Correct? So people will say in this world, a great immoral act. It's the greatest morality. He went to save the world, sacrificing his small family. Even that is true for Buddha, so many personalities. Even Krishna, he never came back to Vrindavan. So so-called moralists of this world cannot understand spirituality. Generally, even a devotee when he is acting, Prabhupada says in the Bhagavad Gita, is very careful to see that in a discharge of service to Krishna, he doesn't contradict his duties in this world. But sometimes it is not possible. But people, their idea of morality, therefore, is very, very elementary. And how can you define morality finally? Who are you to define it? You are not the judge whether the activity is good or bad. That is what has become today the standard. Why is it so much sinful activities are happening in this world? What is the reason? The reason is a person feels, I am the judge, whether it is good or bad. You are not the judge. Just like traffic laws, you don't decide. Are you going for license for somebody? You don't decide whether it is good or bad. Somebody else decides. There are rules, you have to study that, correct? But here, today it has happened, every person feels, I am the judge, what is good or what is bad. And that has happened in every field. Now I will develop that to you. And you have to prove it by result actually. I was morning giving you the example of bottle of water. Now if somebody feels this is a paperweight, it will prove to him to be a paperweight. Correct? Suppose I keep a bottle of water here. You don't know actually what it is. Because you are seeing a bottle of water, because they have not known what we are developing in the morning. But the fact is that you are not seeing the bottle of water. You are only having an image in the eye. We don't know how it has come. Correct? You are not absolute in your seeing. You are getting an image in your eye of the bottle. Maybe it exists or not exist. Actually, you are living in a field of experience which already you have. It may be matching that, therefore you are seeing a bottle. Like you see a rope, you take it for a snake. Why you take it for a snake? Because if the experience of snake is in your head. It doesn't mean that snake doesn't exist. Snake exists, you have experience of snake in your head, correct? And you put a rope there and you take it for a snake. So which is the reality and experience? There is a big contradiction sometimes. Okay? Please try to understand this one. Anyway, that we will not develop now more. So the bottle of water, for some person, he feels it's a paperweight, it will behave like a paperweight. And he is convinced about it. And one person takes it, this is a bottle of water, that's why it's called a bottle of water. And I opens the cap and he drinks the water. And he finds it's wonderful. You got it? So the way you take it, you will get the truth like that. So similarly, God also. Now the scientists are approaching the final truth and they have invested faith. What faith they have invested? What faith the scientists have invested? It is some set of laws. That is also a faith. Why final truths should be some laws? Why is it at my place G should have some value, at your place it should have the same value? It is a faith. So they have invested faith in the final truth. There are some fundamental laws which are operating this world. They have invested that faith. And therefore God has appeared to them in that way. Because everything is God finally. Finally everything is coming from God. Correct? Religion, irreligion, everything left, right, center is coming from God only. So because, you see, we sometimes say scientists are useless. That is also not correct. Because they produced, based on that faith, they are producing some result also. See, you may have one faith, I have another faith. There is no use arguing. What is important is result. Now why is the whole world attracted to them? Because they produce some result. Now look at it this perspective. They make wonderful mobiles, everybody is attracted to them. Correct? They make wonderful television. They make so many conveniences. They are producing some result and they are attracting mass by that. So, in any field of knowledge, unless somebody submissively listens to you, you can't teach him. You can't teach. It is unteachable. By argument, nothing is learned in this world. There is a process of learning which requires student to be respectful to the teacher in any field of knowledge. You go to medicine, just I gave you that example in the morning. The teacher says, like exam is there now, prove something. Now you know mathematics, you prove 5 into 4 equal to 20. You prove. Okay, you get 10 marks also. But some uneducated person comes, he said, you prove to me 5 into 4 is 20. You write 5 plus something you do, proved. He can't understand. To understand the proof also you need knowledge, no? Then like many people come to us, prove that God exists. I can prove to you, but you need some straight head, some brain here to understand that proof. You have to cooperate with me. Suppose the doctor wants to prove to you, you got infected in a particular way. He can't prove unless you cooperate with the doctor to understand his proof. You got it? Einstein read E equal to mc square. He said prove, he proves it. 1, 2, 3, 4, prove. You can't understand one word what he wrote. To understand his proof, you have to cooperate with him. He will teach you first what is E, what is M, what is C, what is square, and then what is mathematics, this, trigonometry, everything, calculus, proved. Correct? If you do not cooperate with me, I can't prove what I know. So therefore, cooperation only comes when somebody is submissive and respectful. Otherwise, we can't teach anything in this world. You got it? So therefore, just why is the whole world spending 25 years studying science today? Very dedicated way. I'm just today having in a different way angle. People take their children to schools, correct? Tuition also, I see we have a tuition, some houses next to us. Morning they come in the car, 6 o'clock, 5:30. They drop them to the door because they're very worried with the dark. This road is dark in the morning. We see them daily and then pick up the children again. So much trouble. Then they drop them in the school. Then after school also they drop them somewhere. Where the reason is some result science is producing. They can see that today. And therefore they are able to attract the people towards that. You got it? Isn't it? This one is very logical. The same way Prabhupada says, and devotees also say, unless we produce result, nobody listens to us. You got it? So and now I'll just explain that example. What is this result? Just like one person says, this bottle is only a paperweight. But when he uses the paperweight, it acts like that. And he is convinced about it. It works. So many people have a conception of God. Their conception of God is impersonal. He has no form, no personality, nothing. And when he practices that, there is a reciprocation. So he can't do anything about it. He is feeling fine. If you look at most of the religions today, originally Christianity also Father in heaven. There is a conception of personality. Allah is also personality. But even in Hinduism today, originally it was personality. But the way people are practicing today is impersonal. Correct? How many Hindus will tell you God has no form? Whatever form you like, you imagine and you worship Him. They tell you like that. That is how all the religions have come down to. Originally, all were personal. Father cannot be impersonal. He is a person. Now, when he is a personality, but people relate to him as the impersonality, but there is a reciprocation, no, on that level. Just like you take a bottle of water, it's a paperweight, you get a realization, it works. So even when you take God as impersonal, it works to some level. And some result is produced also. But suppose you open the bottle, drink water, and show to the other person that he can also drink water from it, then he will accept, this is wonderful, better result. Correct? So every devotee of Krishna consciousness actually should, what he should do? He should, by all angles, by the pleasure experience, Prabhupada says, Krishna consciousness is a self-manifested, peaceful, happy condition. It is not artificially to be advertised. You got it? When we met, I remember in the college when I met devotees, I was amazed how happy they are. And that is what in the beginning attracts. Take an example. Suppose you got 10,000 rupees and another boy got 10,000 rupees. That boy within 2 days spent that 10,000 rupees over, finished. And you took that 10,000 rupees, you made 3 lakh rupees. You did some business. You bought this, sold this, you made 3 lakh rupees. Correct? So that person will ask you, please tell me how you made 3 lakhs out of 10,000. Correct? My money is finished. By result only you can make other person submissive and interested and attracted to learn what you are teaching. True or not? So previously the acharyas, how was it? When Srila Prabhupada, some people when they saw him in America, tears came on their eyes. And I was, met that personality. He was a Negro, black in America only. And at that time he was a hippie. Hippie means he was into not so organized life. And when he saw, and somebody gave him the Krishna book. The Krishna book that we have, Life of Lord Krishna. And he used to look at the book, and at the back side he used to look at Prabhupada's picture that is there. And never read the book. He held the book with him all the time. People hold on to something which will give them some peace. He was not reading it, but this is something nice in it. And every day he used to look at this thing. One side picture of Krishna, other side Prabhupada picture. And one day actually he came to know Prabhupada is coming to the town. And he just saw Prabhupada with his disciples and with the gravity Prabhupada used to maintain. And he was just crying and crying. In fact, many devotees had that experience. They were even taking the Diksha, and they used to just be crying, just remembering their past sinful activities and how they are so fortunate to take shelter of a great devotee of the Lord, like that. So, the very reason when they could see in Prabhupada a character, a personality which is attractive, therefore they surrender. Surrender is natural. When you see a great personality, you automatically want to serve him. It's natural. Correct? And you want to hear how you achieve this stage of consciousness. And whatever he says, you follow. You got it? So, it is not, please try to understand. Prabhupada says, therefore, in which Bhaktivinoda Prabhupada also says that in the purport. He says these books which are there, left by the Acharyas, no, they are also like any other book. No? A book is there and ink is there, color is there, so many books we have like that. In the market there are millions of books. But these books you touch to the head, we do worship also. Why? Because if submissively read, they contain, because how can spiritual world be explained by material ink? The question may come. It doesn't matter, no? And by matter, even some words, how can you give me a vision of the spiritual world which I can't see? Mahaprasade Govinde Nama Brahmana Vaishnave Salpa Punya Vatan Rajan Vishwasana Eva Jayate. What is the meaning? The meaning is that in the Mahaprasada of the Lord, Govinda, Krishna, name of the Lord, Brahmana Vaishnava, the servants of the Lord, and the scripture, these are the ways the Lord is accessible if you deal with them submissively. God is not accessible, visible to us in this mundane body that we are trapped in. He is not visible. Is he visible? He is not visible. But He will be visible through them. When you deal with them, these things submissively. Even though it is matter, Krishna by His omnipotency can make Himself accessible through these ways. So it's a scripture, it's only ink, no paper. We are reading so many stories. But when you read a story, if you read, they are written by Acharya, written by a great devotee of the Lord, the chit potency of the Lord is there. The existence of the Lord, chit potency represents the existence of the Lord, will be revealed. Therefore Prabhupada says, every page of Bhagavatam, Krishna is there. How is it so page? It's a paper. We have so much paper. We have some ink and some paragraph is written. Why is it? By reading that I have faith in God? Because it is impossible, logically a phenomenon. No? Because it's a paper, God is in Vaikuntha somewhere, which I can't even access. How the paper allows me to access Him? Yes, it allows you to access Him, provided submissively approach it, the Lord's presence will be revealed. It is there. It will be revealed to you. Similarly, deities are there. Now, that's a stone and wood. No. When submissively approach, the Lord has revealed His presence. Just like morning, I gave another simple example. Number example. Suppose I write 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What is that? Numbers, no? But I can write in Roman also, no? 1, 2, 3. Correct? So which is number then? For 1 I have 2. What is this now? The point is that they are symbols only. They are not the numbers. What is a number? You study from 1,000 years mathematicians or 2,000 years mathematicians' head is spinning. What is a number? And if you go to pure mathematics, they are really in trouble defining what is a number. What is it finally? 1.00000 to infinity. No, actually, I'm just conceptualizing, but they are having problem. That's a separate issue. You can study on the net, Google, type number problem, see the problem. But anyway, we did. But what is it anyway? It's not number. It's a symbol which represents a number. Correct? In the same way, they have a problem in going to a temple. They say, what is this? Yeah. When so much mathematics we do using symbols, we say 28 into 34 is what exam they give. Correct? But actually you don't have numbers on the paper. You have only symbols which represent number, and you do so much mathematics, trigonometry, everything with it, and get results out of it. Similarly, we have a symbol representing the Lord. What's the problem? When in your material science, you allow symbols to be used, and you have everything fine, even buildings are made, only symbols only, correct? This is 3 feet. What is this 3 feet? Symbol only, no? The 3 is not there. It's only a symbol represents some number. The same way, in the spiritual life also, if you deal with it, same way just like you deal with symbols, you get some result finally. Here also, you deal with symbols of the Lord, you get result, provided you apply. So this is very important actually to understand that a devotee has to give, and that is the duty of every devotee of Krishna, wonderful example. Oh, I am a disciple of Prabhupada, you have to give a wonderful example. Because people in the beginning do not look at your knowledge. People in the beginning do not look at your vocabulary, how many shlokas you know. They are not interested in that. What they are interested in is your sacrifice. What they are interested in is your character. Then they become submissive. Then you can teach. Learning cannot happen by argument. Somebody comes to argue, he is wasting your time, you are wasting his time. Because no learning process in this world, either any department, exists with arguing. There is submission. There is teacher and there is student. Okay? True, a person also has to be sincere to get a good teacher. Just like you want a good college, first you have to be a good student. You say, I want to study in the best medical college in the world. They will allow you. But you have to be qualified to enter them. So you want a good teacher, first qualification is, I should be a good student also. So therefore, it's both ways. Then only the process can work. If somebody wants to, just like I want to prove something, you should be qualified to understand my proof. Teacher is there, very good teacher is ready. But the student does not have a straight head to understand what the teacher is telling. How can he teach? So morning we spend a lot of time understanding Krishna ye bhaje se bada chatura. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, somebody who worships Krishna is very intelligent. Right? In fact, Veda Vyasa also, we know that in Bhagavatam when he wrote all the Vedas, he was himself in trouble. He was himself in trouble because he forgot to glorify the glories of the Supreme Personality. That was by will of Krishna only. There are a lot of Brahmas which are created. But different people are only for that level. But it's not bad what it did, but it missed to glorify the Lord. And therefore in Bhagavatam we see the Vedavyasa himself approaches Narada when Narada visits him. And he says, my Lord, what did I do wrong? He said, what have you done? Jugupsidam, abominable. You missed out. Therefore in Bhagavad Gita also Krishna tells Arjuna what? Traigunya Vishaya Veda Nistraigunya Arjuna. Arjuna, Vedas mainly deal with Traigunya. If you are in Tamoguna, how to come to Rajoguna, how to come to Satoguna. And in the Upanishads, a hint of Brahman is given. That's it. The glories of the Lord are not visible in the Vedas. Here and there it is mentioned. Therefore, Bhaktisiddhanta Prabhupada, the scholar like him, used to be able to establish from any Vedas, any Upanishads, glories of Krishna. But our normal man can't do it. And generally we see the people who study them also are not devotees of the Lord. They may be Gyanis, but not Bhaktas. So it requires a guidance of an Acharya. It requires a surrender to a pure devotee of the Lord to be able to, therefore Prabhupada says, unless we are taken shelter of a pure devotee, we have no access to the spiritual realm. Even our devotion to the Lord will be only a sentiment. Just like I said that, astik, nastik. So many people, you believe in Krishna. And it is useless. Because your only business is to imitate Krishna. To serve Krishna, to be with Krishna, is only desire of a devotee. Therefore, devotee kicks out Sayuja Mukti. He is not interested in that. He wants to be with Krishna. His heart is hankering. His heart is hankering to unite with Krishna in devotion service. That is the platform of a devotee. So this is the position of a devotee. And the morality cannot be defined unless Lord is brought into picture. There are many Theosophists, big philosophers, they also come to this conclusion that ultimately everybody will have his own standard of morality. We need God to give the final standard. There are so many ways they arrive at God. That is fine actually, because the decision finally what is good or bad, God has to make, not you. Just like a crime is committed, whether you have done the crime or not, it is not your decision. It's a decision of the lawmaker. Okay? It's not your decision whether this is right or wrong. A hint is given, just like some basic, just like Bhaktivinoda Prabhupada doesn't waste his time in Brahma Samhita telling. He said these are all, he uses a very nice word. So many not so good activities. He uses, what is the word he uses? All sorts of unprincipled conduct. Graciously. Doesn't want to write all sinful activities. But it is there, what happens in the Bhagavatam when Parikshit Maharaj receives the age of Kali. He tells the Kali Purusha that there are 4 places you can live. That's it. Okay? He tells him there are only 4 places you can live. And the 4 places are defined. Where intoxication is happening, where gambling is happening, where meat is there, where illicit sex is there. Now there can be no playing around in that. Today the modern civilization, which I have spent so many time on explaining this point, runs around in moderation of that. Little of this will do. Little is okay. Little intoxication. Doctors also will come advising sometimes. Little alcohol is good for health. And then we have gambling, shares, so many places people jump in. And illicit sex, and then meat. Sometimes parents also feel. I have seen some devoted parents. They are very religious or everything, but the children, they cook and give meat. No, protein he needs. Because they get so blinded by affection, they even they do sinful activity just to make the child little more, give more protein. So anyway, these 4 sinful activities are, these are called absolute sins. Absolute. Absolute why? Because they make you forget God. That's it. The principle is, what makes you remember God? What makes you forget God? Anybody involving in intoxication certainly forgets God. Anybody involved in gambling certainly forgets God. Anybody involved in illicit sex forgets God. Correct? Because it has a nature of pulling you away from God, therefore they are sinful activities. So in that way we can to some extent understand, but otherwise we should know the decision is of the Lord. So we'll end here today. Srila Prabhupada ki, Brahma Samhita ki.